So what are some of the risk factors? Because I'm sure there are a couple of ways that people can get infertile.
Yeah, they're quite diverse.
Yeah.
And you find, if we start with the female factors,
Yes.
the commonest factors in our setup in this country are factors to do with the fallopian tubes and factors to do with the ovaries. So you find the fallopian tubes, those are the tubes that convey the egg from the ovary all the way to the uterus.
All right.
And in a number of cases, they are blocked because of challenges to do with infection or what we call pelvic inflammatory diseases. Diseases that are sometimes sexually transmitted, and they cause inflammation along that tube that it gets blocked. You find challenges also of the tube can be caused by problems like what we call endometriosis. Sorry for introducing medical terms.
It's a huge one.
Endometriosis is a state where the inner lining of the uterus proliferates away from the uterus, and it can proliferate even in the fallopian tube or even in the pelvic cavity. So you find that can cause infertility. Other challenges to do with the tubes can be congenital, or where somebody is born with a problem, for example, an absent fallopian tube.
Okay.
So in that case, now the egg cannot be conveyed. Challenges to do with the ovaries include hormonal challenges. You find the ovary usually works on instructions from above. Instructions from above, we are talking about the hypothalamus, that's a gland in the brain, secreting some hormones to instruct the pituitary gland, which is also in the brain, on what to secrete to regulate the ovarian function. And that system, we call it the hypothalamus pituitary ovarian axis. If there's a problem in that axis, the hormones will be deranged and the ovaries will not function properly, they will not ovulate, and that causes infertility. Other challenges are like you might have ovaries that are not properly formed. We call that agenesis, and that can cause infertility also. Moving on to the uterus. Uterus has its own challenges, which can also be congenital or born with or acquired.
All right.
And the acquired challenges of the uterus include problems like the growth that we get in the uterus, like the fibroids, can cause infertility, which are common in our setup. Challenges like when somebody has had a cleanup for pregnancy loss, and the lining of the uterus can be damaged. We call that synechia, and that can cause infertility. Challenges of the cervix are also there, and infections in the cervix or operations on the cervix may cause infertility. So you find for every part of the female system that you touch, you may get infertility. You can also get infertility because of systemic diseases in the woman. For example, diseases like diabetes and diseases of the thyroid gland, like if there is hypo or hypothyroidism or high levels of thyroxine, those ones may cause infertility. Renal diseases, kidney diseases may cause infertility.
Infertility as well. There's
so
a huge chunk of things that
really can really cause infertility. But having said that, I don't want to stop before I say that lifestyle can cause infertility in the woman.
Very important.
Very important.
Yes.
In the form of the woman who has a lot of animal proteins or animal fats.
Meat.
Yeah, meat especially. We tend to get infertility because of the reduction in the ovulation, and obesity is associated with reduction in ovulation.
What?
So that one we need to know.
Yeah.
So you find infertility can be related to what we eat and that type of lifestyle we live. So
I realize you're mentioning the women, and it scares to know that we are. Thinking about that as a woman, you're thinking, wow, what do I not do? What do I do? But we'll get back to that later. But what about the man? What are the risk factors?
The man has an equal share of problems. You find, let's start with the common challenges that we get in our setup. You find for men, we do analysis of semen, and we find sometimes there are no sperms in the semen, or even if they are there, they have abnormalities, or they are reduced in numbers. You find we need more than 20 million sperms per meal to fertilize an egg. So you find the distance the sperms are going to swim, so to say, requires the best. And you need more than 20 million of them. So some men have oligospermia, or reduction in the number of sperms. And some of them, the sperm is of low quality, so to say, such that it is swimming in the wrong direction or has deformities in itself, and that causes infertility. Having said that, you find men can also have other challenges in the testes. You find some challenges can be congenital, or they are born with, and others are acquired. Congenital problems in the testes is where you find maybe the testis is not able to start off the formation of the sperms, because that spermatogenesis is not there. And in that case now, there will be completely no sperm formation. Now, other challenges are like, for example, if there is mumps. Mumps is a viral disease that can cause otitis, or inflammation in the testes, and cause future infertility.
Mumps is the one that affects your thyroid area.
The mumps glands and all that. So you find if that happens, one can get infertility. Trauma to the testes can cause infertility. Congenital problems of the testes include, for example, where the testis is not properly descended. Such that it gets trapped. You see, the testis generally is formed as an abdominal organ, just like the ovaries. But for the woman, the ovaries remain intra-abdominal. For the men, the testes have to travel along a pre-destined path to get into the scrotum. When it doesn't get to the scrotum, then it's going to have a defect in that it cannot form the sperms. The sperms require to be formed in an industry where the industry is away from the body. So that when it is cold, the scrotum contracts and pulls the testes to get some heat from the body.
It's a protective mechanism.
Yes, when it is hot, again, it moves the testes away from the body, so that you boil alone. The testes is supposed to be an industry that's protected.